Hey guys, my name is Aaron. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be going over the Dracotail list that I've been playing over the past couple of days, and then also a replay as well with a game that shows some of the strengths of the deck. Yeah, so let's get right into it. This isn't going to be an overview of the deck. If you want to do that, I'd recommend either Jesse, Cotton, Lucas Sacco, a couple other guys have been doing that type of stuff. I'm just going to simply go over my list and the thought process of how we got here. Real quickly, I want to shout out Herman Hansen, who I've played games with over the past few days and gotten a really good idea about what I like in the deck. And then also Rahan and Nick, who I think have bounced some ideas off me and given me a good idea of what I think is going to be good. So first things first, we're going to go over the engine real quick. I think this is the pretty standard engine you're going to see. If you're going second, you can argue to main 0 or 1 of the traps. But I think this is better as a going first deck because you want to try and get the ball rolling in terms of resolving all your effects every turn. And then the only issues that I've had with the deck so far were okay, we only have 1, 2, we've got Artholion, we've got Gulamal, and then we've got, I think, one more. We can go for Spheres, we've got Secretarian Dragon in a matchup. We can do Mysterion. So we've got 4, potentially 5 interrupts that are all okay. But in general, I felt like the deck was lacking. Obviously, you can play non-engine. People are playing cards like Valor that you can recycle with Eltherion. But in general, I didn't feel like the deck had enough power that way. So I would put Shadalls in the deck. So they're cards that give you value over the course of the game if you resolve them multiple times by adding them back. And then also you can do things like make Winda. And you can do things like Slide Shadal Fusion, which I think are all just really strong cards. And actually, as I was driving home today, I had the idea. I was okay, so this is the Shadal package I've been playing. I think I would actually like to change the ratio up, and I'm going to show you guys the idea that I had. I think we're actually going to make Hedgehog at 3, or Squamata at 3, and then Hedgehog at 2, something like that. And then we're going to cut Beast down. Sorry, Shadal, Squamata. So I wanted to max out on the good ones. And by the good ones, I mean, whenever I draw these cards, if I resolve Altherion and then also add back, resolve the effect and then also Altherion add back, I can get to Winda. Beast is a variance draw, so it's not going to guarantee me a Winda. And there's no guarantee that we're going to have enough darks. The attributes of the deck don't really correspond with Winda. So in a perfect world, we're going to draw Squamata and then or Hedgehog, and then both of those will get me to either add Squamata or Beast. And then I'll have 2 Shadalls in my hand next turn to be able to Winda whenever I feel like. So yeah, this is the change that I think I'm going to do. I'll cut the deck down to 40 at some point in the future. But yeah, I think this is good. All of the non-engine that I'm playing are either really broken cards that I would like to recycle over the course of the game, like Lancey and Droll, or they're cards like Phantasmic, which are if this card gets ashed compared to a Perulia or a Meows, it'll stay in my hand, which is really important for Altherion, just having all the cards in rotation. And then cards like Nibiru as well. I just want to be able to have really strong cards to recycle, or just cards that get me more cards, because the deck is built around monsters. I think that's a really important part of the deck. And then, yeah, so another couple of things that I've seen, I think Cashier Offender is a good going first option. It's a card that isn't interrupt, disrupts the K9 package, and then also gets you card economy. So that's something I'm not playing that I think currently could be in the list. I think you could argue to play maybe it was 1 less Cartesia, this may be how I cut it down to 40. This card is very good. It's a card that Herman put in the deck and I think is really strong. You would argue that, okay, maybe something like Lucius or Malulu is a better normal summon, but I think in general you actually just prefer to have these cards in hand and resolve them every turn. And then this card is also a spellcaster still, so you can go for Spirit and Hieratic Seal, even though Lucius does the same thing. So yeah, if you open both, you're pretty content just fusing with this and other cards in hand, and just having Cartesia on the field as a consistent fusion summon monster. And then obviously if it ever gets sent to grave, you can add it back and do the same thing moving forward. And then, yeah, so we have Shadal Fusion on the side. The currently is just for Grista primarily, to send Urgula, and then whatever Shadal monster, generally Dragon, or if we need monsters in hand, we'll go for Hedgehog for Squamata. Currently, you can do things like play Shadal Genius and Apcalone. You can also play Shadal Aerial if you think Graveyard Interruption is important, if you're playing against something like Mitsurugi or maybe even the Yummy deck. So yeah, those are all things you can do. Mistaken Arrest, I think, is, in a perfect world, this would be a monster interaction for going first. Maybe it ends up something else, but because I'm manning Nib, this would probably be the Nib slot. So if Nib goes to the side, Mistaken Arrest gets cut, and then I find something else. But overall, I'm pretty content with where the list is at right now. And yeah, I think we're going to get into the gameplay. Nothing else that I can see it's super interesting. So yeah, this is game 2. I played game 1 versus, this is Yummy, this is post side, and this is with the list that I just showed you. And I go a little greedy here going for Fualos because I have Ash and Nib, so I'm not super concerned with if this gets stopped that I'm going to get blown out. If I don't have the Nib here, I would definitely Ash this and then just Fua later on if he continues to extend. But because I have this, I'm going to be a little more aggressive and try and get as many draws off Fua as possible because he has to commit and do it. And here I choose to Nib a little early. I'm still learning the Yummy deck. This is obviously still early testing. I'm not going to play it like perfectly, and most people aren't right now. I should definitely just hold this and like let him play as long as he wants and then hit him with Nib at the end. I choose not to do that, unfortunately. And he's going to extend into a little bit of a board. The rest of our hand is Rahu, Dracotail, Ash, and Arugula. Ash, you could argue to use at some point, like when he makes Cupsy to like add for follow-up. I didn't feel like at this point like it was going to be too relevant because I nibbed early. Like he's already going to end on some type of a board. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just keep this card in hand so I have more fusion material for my turn. We go here, and we don't know either of his sets. He already used his quick play spell, and he didn't end up going for the Link Monster. And this is Nib token, so it's not something he can utilize for synchroing. So we draw Shaddoll Hedgehog, which is just like another reason, like, after watching this game, I was like, okay, like, I just need cards in my hand as often as possible, so all of my Dracotail spells, like, have value. So, into the board, he has, like, Book of Moons, he has Pop, so, like, these interactions, like, aren't generally very good into your deck. So my biggest thing is, like, okay, if I clear the back row, like, I can try and win a grind game against this deck and just take advantage of it. The other card I need to be concerned with is Herald. So as long as I lead with the Brain Infusion, obviously in this situation, I don't have any other options. But as long as I'm doing the spells early before he can Herald me, then it's not going to have much of an effect. So we're going to lead Rahu. He's going to chain summon some guys. We're going to dump Pan from deck, which is the monster pop. You could argue to dump, like, Malulu because it's a non-targeted negate. But I figured just in this situation, I prefer to, like, apply a little bit more pressure and, like, remove his Synchro monster if he wants to keep it out there. Or I can just, like, pop Snatchy either way. So we do this. We go dump. We're going to get two different adds. We can argue to add something or like try and bounce like his Snatchy, but he can just chain it. So I think just adding back more fusion material for the turns moving forward is just better. And we're going to get two different sets, which will be the Trap and this. Oh, we get Imperm here. Forgot about that. So he's going to pop our Nib, negate this. So we don't get any add backs, but we're still going to resolve all of our effects and have enough fusion material to continue playing. So Ketu, he does this. We pop the other set with the Arugula. And now we have Trapped for follow-up. We have Ketu. He potentially could have... Yeah, because of this, the Pan, we were able to clear the Synchro. So now he's in, like, a pretty difficult spot. He can, like, obviously chain to our plays to, like, keep his card economy going. But, like, his interrupts are not going to be super prevalent from here. So now we're going to get into a grind game and just, like, hope that we can outvalue him. So we get to, he Snatchies here. We dumped Lucius off of this because we can add it back with Arugula and we haven't normal summoned yet. So I'm just going to do this to try and get 5 mana back in rotation, or into rotation. So we do this. He chains to prevent Galomo from being a pop. He's going to book both of our Kais, so this card will not be an interrupt moving forward. We get the draw of Shaddoll Beast. We get Cartesia, which nice fusion material to have because it'll keep coming back. Lucius, and then he summons guys. He goes for the pop field spell here. So this is something we technically should be concerned with, but like there's not much I can do to play around it. So like if he wants to pop the trap card, he can. But in most likelihood, he's gonna just like use it to clear the Lucius. So his board's gonna stay as it is. So yeah, add the 5 mana like we said. In our battle phase, he's gonna make a Synchro, and then he's gonna pop the Lucius. And yeah, we pass after this, and we have 5 mana, which is going to be fusion material, and because we have Dracotail monsters on the board, then we're going to resolve whatever we feel like. So he starts making plays, and there isn't really anything that I feel like I can do because the Synchros tag out. My goal here is just to like let him play, and then eventually my goal is to try and Altherion back Nib. Because that is like I think the best interrupt I have in this situation. Like I can maybe like Horn if he tries to do something silly, but in general like anything that I try to do, like maybe like get to a Malulu if I can, like which I don't even think is possible. Just like I don't really have like a real interrupt here. So my goal is just like, okay, let's take advantage of the non-engine that I have available to me. Just like let him go wide, try enter battle phase, and then clear out whatever I can. So yeah, we go here. A mistake that I make here is I do still draw off of the Horn. I learned that is a then. I didn't read the card all the way. So I put the card back and draw. That is not how it works. You have to resolve the first effect of the card before you do the draw. So again, testing. I drew an irrelevant card, so luckily it didn't matter. He's going to go resolve the field spell, put it back in deck, Synchro off still, do all of his fun stuff, and there's nothing really to Ash here, so I figured I'm just going to like not let something like Tactics or Thrust be live if he plays that. He makes a lot of plays, goes for the good field spell, and this is the one that applies the most pressure for game, so now that we're here, he shuffles back Pan, attempts to that in battle phase. And yeah, we're going to go for the play that I mentioned. We're going to go 5 mana. You can fusion... I think I just fusion everything here just to get as much resources back as possible. He chains. He summons a bunch of bodies. We're cool. He's now going to cookie pop our guy, which fine with me. And then we're going to, like I said, Altherion. We have 2 bounces. It's going to be Nib and probably like a Shaddoll monster. We could technically add back like 5 mana. But yeah, that is what's going to happen here. We get our resources back, and now we get to Nib, and we have Rahu and Ketsu, or 2 Rahus for follow-up, so even if he pops this, we still are good to go. And then in phase, add back Cartesia. He shuffles back Field Spell, so he has that in rotation. And now we just have to apply enough... so he misclicked in turn. So yeah, sets this, and now we just have to put game on board, which is pretty easy considering we have Altherion and Glulamel in grave. So yeah, we get a Brain Infusion. Send Malulu. In hindsight, I think it should have been Pan just to like clear the body and just like make lethal very easy. It could also be Arugula to pop the back row. I don't really know why I did that in hindsight, but missed it. Still learning the deck, obviously. Because yeah, I think that is just the least relevant thing I could have done. So yeah, we get our guys back. We get 5 mana. I don't even bounce the token for some reason. Like yeah, this is just like mistakes made by me for sure. So yeah, we do. I think I was trying to figure out what to make here, and yeah, we just make another body. Because now that we clarified the token's defense, we just get to attack over everything, and this is 4 summons exactly, so I could technically trigger the other fusion, but no reason to play a Nib, and yeah, we just attack for game. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good example of what the deck's capable of. Obviously, a lot of misplays. This is me learning the deck, but I think the list overall is in a pretty good spot. Yeah, if you have any thoughts or anything you want to mention and help me figure out with the deck, would love to hear your feedback. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.